One quarter in Fresno, homecoming for the Bulldogs. Third down defense has been an issue for Fresno State, and you can see the opponents, the quality of opponents. I mean, Ole Miss, Utah right now sitting at number 5, at San Jose State, at San Diego State. And right now, a third down for this Utah State offense.
Well, outside of maybe that one big play to Hunter Sharp tonight, I thought this defense has made some plays, and they've been able to get off the field, and they've even been able to put a little bit of pressure on Kent Myers. So you just got to, you've taken care of one aspect of it. You get another chance here in the 3rd and long. You might want to think about sending some pressure here.
So Nick Toth, the defensive coordinator for Fresno State, rolling his Myers, and he's caught and sacked at the 17. Nella Otukolo, the freshman out of Las Vegas.
Well, Nick Toth's eyes light up when he talks about some of his young linebackers. Nella Otukolo, who's getting a lot of playing time because of the injury to Kyrie Wilson, the normal starter. They love his upside. They love James Bailey and his upside. This linebacking core right here has a chance to make big plays. And there's another one for the freshman.
Damari Scott is deep. Dalton's kick, a low line drive. Scott in traffic with a fair catch. And at the 45-yard line, great field position for Fresno State. Let's go down to the sidelines. Cassie Gallo. Cassie?
Rich, after that last touchdown, Kilton Anderson could barely make his way through the sideline. He was mobbed by all of his teammates congratulating him. Offensive coordinator Dave Schramm ran up to him, put his arms around his shoulders. They had a big exchange, then gave him a pat. Now you'll remember Matt Wells said when this crowd gets behind this team, that's when they start to worry because it makes it an even harder place to play. Well, that turnover and touchdown injected a lot of life into this stadium, Rich.
Well, you're right, Cassie. Wells has coached here as an opponent and played quarterback here as an opponent. Fresno State on the ground. Anderson across midfield, and the redshirt freshman quarterback in his first collegiate start as a 5-yard pickup. Of course, when Wells was quarterbacking against Fresno State, there was a pretty good quarterback that went on to win a Super Bowl that was here. In a long line of Fresno State very good quarterbacks. Shotgun on 2nd and 5. And it's Waller to the 47-yard line. 2-yard pickup. There's Kevin Clune, defensive coordinator for Utah State. Trent Dilfer, of course, that quarterback. The Carrs were here, both David and Derek. Kevin Sweeney, son of Jim, the legendary coach. This is Jim Sweeney Field, by the way, at Bulldog Stadium. 3rd down 3.
Expect some type of a quarterback run or zone read here on 3rd and short.
It's a run short of the 1st down. And it's Waller again. He's right at the 45. He's a yard short. And what do you do now with this redshirt freshman quarterback if you're Tim DeRuyter?
I think he's going to go for it. Right now you're across the 50-yard line. You gain a lot of yardage by punting. I think they're going to give the redshirt or the freshman quarterback and Martez Waller a chance to pick this thing up on the ground.
Anderson with Waller in the backfield. And it's Waller who's hit, bounces out, and he's going to be short. And Utah State holds a big defensive sequence for the Aggies. Nick Vigil, Kyler Fackrell. You might not find 2 better linebackers in tandem in the Mountain West Conference. They make the stop. And Kevin Clune's defense holds 7-7 Utah State, Fresno State, Aggie ball when we return. 7-7, 12.5 left. 1st half tomorrow on CBS. Doubleheader action, Packers and Rams. Tom Brady and the Patriots against the Cowboys in Dallas. It all starts with a team that'll take you right to Super Bowl 50. JB, Tony, Bart, Coach, Boomer on the NFL Today presented by Southwest Airlines. Arch, how do you get to Super Bowl 50?
Practice.
Well, no, if you're in Fresno, how do you get to Super Bowl 50?
It doesn't look like it's that far, right? Just hitchhike? I still like practice.
I would
you get anywhere if you practice, Rich.
I would suggest Uber for you. 159 miles. Now, Kent Myers on 1st and 10 for Utah State. He's out to the 48-yard line. Arch, how does this offense look different with Myers at the controls as opposed to, say, Chucky Keaton?
Well, it was really kind of a true spread offense with Keaton because he was so good at throwing the ball. And even when Josh Heupel trying to instill this offense, they had some chemistry issues because of some injuries they had at wide receiver, and they never really got a chance to get on track. So it's much more run-centered, obviously, with Myers pulling the trigger.
Nice dump off to Hunter Sharp, and he's got the first down. Sharp to the 40-yard line. It's a 12-yard pickup, and a nice game for Utah State. And Sharp, who had the big catch that set up the first score, they are moving him all over the field.
He's one of their best playmakers. Last year, he had 4 touchdowns of 70 yards or more. You saw the big play earlier in the first quarter when he got down the field, and just any type of way they can get him in space, whether it's out of the backfield or those short screens, that's the guy whose hands they want to get the ball to.
So it's into Fresno State territory, 41-yard line. Nice play action, up the seam, Wyatt Houston, the tight end, inside the 10, and Houston down to the 4-yard line. First and goal, Utah State. A nice read by Myers and his junior tight end, Wyatt Houston.
This is easy right here, and there's no linebacker presence. You see Myers, that's a run or a pass option, and there's nobody there. The linebacker, Robert Stanley, was shaded all the way to the left and could not get there on time. Good read by Myers, finding the weakness in the defense.
Verizon red zone. Utah State will give it to Devontae Mays. Now, remember in our meetings, Matt Wells told us there were too many red zone field goals last week against Colorado State. He said getting into the red zone is not high on the list. Scoring touchdowns in the red zone is.
And the fact that they haven't really had a lot of red zone trips. And they've only run the ball for 1 touchdown in the red zone this year, only 2 passes this year, and they've given up a couple of interceptions. So they've scored a lot of big plays, but haven't had a lot of time in this part of the field.
Second down and goal. Option pitch. It's Mays. He is in for the touchdown and over the fence. Let's hope he's okay. He is. And Utah State is back on top. Devontae Mays on the pitch from Kent Myers. And a nice answer. And remember, it comes on a 4th down stop by the Utah State defense. And the offense goes some 56 yards. Warren adds the point. Off the 4th down stop, Devontae Mays in, up, and over. 14-7. Utah State. What do you see, Arch?
Well, sometimes when you bring pressure, you got to know what your responsibility is. And they came off of that right side with pressure. The inside linebacker, I believe Robert Stanley, was late getting over to pick up the tight end. So Wyatt Houston down the field, and then you get both running backs in the backfield. Lawan Hunt at fullback and Devontae Mays running the option. When you have a chance to make a one-on-one tackle in great position as a cornerback, Tyquan Glass could not make it. And an easy touchdown drive for the Aggie offense.
26, Weston Garrison, number 22.
Devontae Mays, first rushing touchdown. That's only the 8th offensive touchdown for Utah State. And this is game number 5. A low line drive kick. Dustin Garrison started like he was headed out and then stopped just shy of the goal line. All right, time now for our Phillips 66 Scholar Athlete of the Week. Sorry, Arch, you were a close runner-up this week to Bo Bonheim, 3-time Mountain West All-Academic pick. 27 starts. Bonheim, the right guard. Fresno State offensively now. Kilton Anderson, the redshirt freshman, led a nice touchdown drive his last time out. And that tied the game briefly at 7. His own 25. Anderson's first college start, the 4th different quarterback to start for the Bulldogs, and movement on both sides. A big-time blitz was coming.
False start, 54, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Justin Northern, the right tackle. Pair of backs in the backfield, Martez Waller, Malik Meisenheimer with Anderson. And it's Waller. And right now, there's no surprise when Waller gets the football.
It's an attacking, aggressive defense. And one of the things that Tim DeRuyter and Dave Schramm talked about yesterday at length was the fact that you just can't have first and longs. You can't have second and longs. And an offense that relies so much on rhythm and timing and tempo, you know, getting off to negative first down plays really sets this offense back. And they're not able to overcome those early mistakes.
Fresno State doesn't like the play they had called on 2nd down and 14. And they're going to burn a timeout. Their first.
Timeout. Fresno State, first of the half. 36.
So 9.5 minutes left. First half. Utah State, a 1-touchdown lead. Let's go down to Cassie Gallo. Cassie?
Well, Rich, these two head coaches go way back. They started coaching together in 1999 at Navy, and in talking to both of them this week, it's obvious how fond they are of each other. In fact, they're still really good friends. Head coach Matt Wells said when he first got the head coaching job at Utah State, he said, Timmy was so good to me. They knew they weren't going to coach together or against each other for 2 years. So he said, D-Root gave me all kinds of advice, from recruiting to philosophies. Even their wives are good friends, but they both know now that when they play each other, it's time to buckle up for 4 quarters.
Well, there they were on that 2000 Navy coaching staff. The ironic thing, Cassie, is when he said, look, we aren't going to coach against each other for 2 years. This was the game he was pointing at. They ended up playing in the Mountain West Championship game that year in 2013. And Wells and the Aggies came in here and lost by a touchdown. Anderson's throw is on the mark, caught by Johnson. Keyshawn Johnson across the 25 to the 26. It's only a gain of 5. This is going to be 3rd down and a long 9.
They're going to have to do a lot more than just this. The sprint out pass, we've seen it 5 or 6 times tonight, and I think the Aggie defense is all over it. And so I know you're trying to get some short passes to get your receivers to try and make something happen after the catch. But again, if you don't develop a counterpunch, then they're just going to sit back and tee off and take away what you do well.
1 for 6. On 3rd down, you saw 0 for 12 last week. 4-man rush. Anderson down the sideline, and he overthrows everybody. He was looking for Johnson. Utah State's going to get the football back, and it feels like they'll get it in pretty good field possession.
Well, up front, they're doing a much better job than they did last week at least handling the front and handling the pressure looks that the Aggie defense is giving them. Last week, it was like a jailbreak. There were Aztecs all over that offensive backfield. And I think it was the fact that Zach Greenlee was not able to deal with that kind of rush and pressure that made the coaching staff turn to Kilton Anderson.
Garrett Swanson's kick is blocked, and it's loose. And it's scooped up at the 8 by Utah State. And the Aggies will have it right on Fresno State's doorstep. Bryant Hayes, I think, got his hands on the football.
Yeah, this comes just right up the middle. And you see Hayes go on the right side, the defensive left side of that shield. And you're not supposed to be able to. That's why they put that shield there. You're not supposed to be able to go around it. But that tells me there's got to be some type of an alignment issue or depth issue with the shield or the punter to allow Hayes to be able to come right off of there unblocked, because that shield is taught not to move. And there's no way that he should have been able to come off the edge and get his hands on that ball. Big play for the Utah State Aggies now, getting one on special teams for themselves, setting their offense up inside the 10-yard line.
First and goal from the Fresno State 8. Myers shotgun. Fires it out. Devontae Robinson inside the 5. Robinson down at the 3-yard line. Second and goal from the 3. This is where the running ability of Kent Myers becomes problematic for a defense.
You saw in their last touchdown, Josh Heupel, he likes to put both running backs in the backfield, Devontae Mays and Lawan Hunt. And what's interesting is a lot of times Hunt's the lead blocker and he's the smaller of the two.
First man through, it's Hunt, and is he in? Yes, touchdown, Utah State. Lawan Hunt with his second touchdown of the ball game. Hunt has 2 scores. Devontae Mays has run for a touchdown. And of course, with every scoring play, a second look upstairs, especially one that ended up right on the goal line. Warren, an extra point. And he missed it. Pushed it right. And it was all set up. The block by Bryant Hayes on the punt. The block. Lawan Hunt got the touchdown. It's 20-7, Utah State. Getting closer to the Verizon halftime report. Brent Stover, Christian Fourier in our New York studio. All the day's action. Updating you on tonight's games as well. First half highlights and stats from here. News and notes. Arch, what catches your eye?
Boy, I think everything kind of catches my eye. You really didn't expect Texas to do what they did this today. You know, Nick Chubb, anybody who saw that game, your heart has to go out to him. And that injury, and what can you say about Jim Harbaugh and what he's doing over there at Michigan? And then a pretty good look out there for the Big 12. TCU, Baylor, both in the top 3. How about that?
Nothing's coming easy for TCU. I mean, they've got some, they're still rolling, but they've had some close calls.
A win's a win.
It is. Utah State's kick goes by Damari Scott and through the end zone, and now you see the scoring drive off the block punt. Bryant Hayes with the block. And Lawan Hunt with his second rushing touchdown of the night. Hilton Anderson for Fresno State is getting his first collegiate start. Last week it was Zach Greenlee. It looks like, Adam Archuleta, Fresno State's playbook has been rather limited. And Dave Schramm usually has a pretty deep playbook.
It's extremely limited. All you're really seeing, you saw them took a shot very early in the game. That was an interception. All you're seeing is sprint outs, a little bit of runs, but they're not doing enough to attack that Aggie defense.
Jordan almost had a big play. He spins away from the tackle and has a gain of 5. Jameer Jordan has a touchdown catch, and it was Anderson that threw it.
And Rich, it's not just the quarterback position that's having problems. It's the wide receivers. They're young. I mean, just last week against San Diego State, they were lining up on the pro numbers instead of the college numbers, even though they went over it time and time again. So it's not just the quarterback that has to step up his game.
Again, Jordan knocked out of bounds. And he's got the first down. It's a gain of 6. The Bulldogs are moving the football. 7:11 left in his first half.
A good start to the drive. You picked up the first down of the game. But again, it's very difficult in college football, pro football, if you don't threaten deep and you can't get the ball down the field to have sustained success. So sooner or later, they're going to have to throw the ball past 10 yards.
Anderson, little dump out of the backfield. Chad Olson, the tight end, came back across the formation. Remember, Anderson's first throw of the ball game was deep, and it was intercepted, and they haven't gone back there since.
Would you? But they're going to have to. I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek. But it's a very limited offense, and now if you're Kevin Clune and the Aggie defense, you're not going to be too aggressive. You're just going to make them throw underneath, rally up, force the tackle, and force them to beat them.
Anderson met there on the edge by Tyler Floyd, the senior out of Orlando, for a loss of 5.
Boy, it's such a good play coming off the slot by Tyler Floyd. He avoids the cut block of Martez Waller and gets up to the upfield shoulder and makes a form tackle on Kilton Anderson. Great technique by Floyd.
On third down, 1 of 3. And this is third down and 12. The 4-receiver look. And a 5-man rush. They get to him. And he is swallowed up back at the 24-yard line. Nick Vigil, Tyler Fackrell said, let's meet at the quarterback. And the 2 linebackers come up with a nice play.
Well, and the initial pressure comes from Devin Centers. And Waller here is late reacting to the outside pressure. You see him a little bit confused, then you get a free hitter. Centers forces Anderson to move up inside, and that's where that linebacker core with a great inside push is able to get to Anderson. So miscommunication in a protection game leads to the easy sack by Vigil.
Hunter Sharp will get his hands on the ball again. Nice move to the outside. And he's hit at the 38-yard line. There's a flag down at the 34-yard line of Utah State, and it's in front of the Utah State bench. The Yankees on top on the road. It is homecoming on this Saturday night in Fresno.
During the kick, holding, number 10, return team, 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down, timeout.
Utah State, a win last week, momentum here. Sophomore quarterback Kent Myers, a threat with the ball, with his legs and with his arm. Gets it when we get back. Fresno State, Utah State, and Kent Myers, the sophomore quarterback for the Aggies, who is 6-1 as a starter. He is off to a hot start, 8 of 12, 117 yards. He's hit on 5 straight, swings it down the sideline, spinning, breaking free is Robinson, and he goes down. Robinson with the catch. They'll mark it at the 47-yard line. That's a 28-yard connection.
Oh, what a terrific route outside by Devontae Robinson, hitting the out and up, and then he gets a nice soft pass that falls right into his hands for a big play.
Adam, this is a departure from last year's game, or last week's game plan with Myers, who ran it a lot. On 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground with Lawan Hunt to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying, Rich, you know, Kent Myers is a weapon on the ground, but still, you want to be able to have balance. And if you're able to hit big plays down the field like you did to Hunter Sharp, and you're able to drop a nice little pass in there to Devontae Robinson, and move the ball down the field, then you limit shots on your quarterback. You always know that you could go back to the quarterback run, and Kent Myers can make something happen, but developing the rest of the offense, I think, is the right choice.
Short-term and long-term. Second down 5. The Fresno State 43. And straight ahead with Hunt. He stopped a couple yards shy of the first down. It's a 4-yard carry. 3.5 minutes left, first half. Utah State scored first in this one. Fresno State tied it at 7 with 2 unanswered scores, including a missed extra point for Utah State. Last 3 games, last possession of the half, all 3 of those touchdowns. So on 3rd and 2, and hit is Hunt. Flags are down. Hunt is down. He's going to lose 3 yards. Todd Hunt tackles Lawan Hunt. Todd, the senior out of Anaheim. Lawan, the sophomore across the country out of Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, just a terrific job by Hunt.
Holding, number 76. Offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
And that was Jake Simonich, the right tackle, who had the task of trying to block Hunt. But a nice little inside stunt. He got the inside position, got the penetration, made the play, and forced the penalty as well.
So Matt Wells is going to punt. Aaron Dalton is in. Special team plays, a couple of real big ones. The block punt by Utah State. And remember the non-penalty, the fumbled return by Utah State set up Fresno State's touchdown. That ball's going to land and take a nice bounce for Utah State and end up down at the 2-yard line. Good English on it. A little double duty for Devin Centers, the starting free safety. It's a 39-yard punt. And now you've got a redshirt freshman quarterback making his first college start. 2:33 left. Here's what we've seen from Kilton Anderson so far tonight.
Well, it's been a limited playbook, and they started out the game trying to go deep to get a big play, but that was right in the lap of Devin Centers. You've seen a little bit of quarterback run game, but they really had a hard time getting some consistency. They did, however, after that punt, Muff, getting the ball in great territory, he throws a strike to his wide receiver to get a touchdown. So you've seen some good things, but I think the limitations of the playbook right now is hurting this offense.
Utah State shows blitz. Anderson's hit. Ball is loose in the end zone, and it's knocked out of the end zone. If it's a fumble and it goes out, it's 2 points for Utah State. If it's an incomplete pass, it'll be second down back at the 2.
The ruling on the field was the quarterback was hit, lost control of the ball, safety.
So it's 2 points for Utah State, and certainly we'll take a look at it again, and that's, I guess, what will happen deep in your own territory.
Miscommunication again. Marwin Evans, the free safety, comes right off the edge, and again, it looked like it was a similar situation to the earlier sack on 3rd down, and the running back, Martez Waller, failing to get over there and pick up that protection.
Now, it looked like the arm was starting forward, but the ball landed. I don't know if it was behind him. Take a look again if we can. I expect that they're looking at it upstairs as well.
It looked like to me live as if Marwin Evans, the strong safety, hit Anderson before the ball started to move forward. That's how it looked live. But protection issues, communication issues, really hurting this offense. You can't have a free hitter getting that kind of access to your quarterback, especially in your end zone.
All right, Arch, another look.
The right side of your screen, Evans comes in, and it looks like to me that's going to be a fumble. Not sure if there's anything conclusive that's going to show that that arm or that hand was going forward. This should be the right angle right here.
It's close.
I thought he hit him before that ball or that hand was coming forward.
But you're right, I don't know if there's enough to overturn it.
Now here's the thing. His hand did not hit his arm. So he made contact with his body, and then he tried to throw the pass. So that could be considered a forward pass, because his arm or his hand did not make contact with his arm or his elbow.
If that's the case, then you have to ask, is it a backwards pass? Which would be the same as a fumble once it goes out of the end zone. So there's a lot of ifs and moving parts on this one. If his arm was moving forward and the ball ends up going forward, it's incomplete. But if it goes backwards, it's a live ball and it's out of the end zone, and Utah State gets 2. And it looks like they looked at it and there'll be no further word. The call is what it was. And this is going to be a free kick off the safety. Jalen Davis to the 32-yard line. Let's go back to New York and update with Brent Stover. Brent?
Rich, Jared Goff has thrown 4 first-half interceptions, but he fires a touchdown right here to Darius Poe. At the half, Utah leads Cal 24-17.
Yeah, thank you, Brent. Wow. Both coaches here can tell you all you want to know about Utah, because Fresno State played him here in Fresno, and of course Utah State, that was an even game at the half, and Utah State had their chances late and ended up losing. You see that note on Cal, the Golden Bears at 5-0. Sonny Dykes has done such a nice job there in Berkeley.
Yeah, who would have thought 3 years ago that these two programs playing on this night will be playing so well?
Yeah, especially with Cal 1-11 2 years ago. To the outside, and a nice game here. Hunter Sharp on the catch from Kent Myers. Still plenty of time for Utah State.
Yeah, there's plenty of time for Utah State, but Fresno State defensively has to make something happen. And they've somehow, some way, they have to set the offense up in a short field, and you cannot allow the Aggies to go down the field and score points before halftime. So you've got to step up. I know it's tough, but in times like this, you have to do your share and make more plays as a defense to help out your team.
Off the safety, a 22-7 lead. Utah State with the ball. Nice catch by Houston on a throw that was behind him. Remember, Houston had that seam route that set up the second score for Utah State. It's a 5-yard gain. Second down and 5. Remember that note. Last 3 games, last possession, first half, Utah State has had a touchdown in all 3 of them.
Yeah, anytime you see 2 backs in the backfield right around midfield, expect a shot to take advantage of a corner blitz.
Handoff. And to the 46-yard line, it's Hunt. He's shy of the first down. The clock continues to go. Utah State has all 3 of their timeouts. There's your target line. Jake Thompson is the long man. And by long, his range is about 55 yards. His career long is 52. But Matt Wells told us if it's 55, maybe even a little above 55, he's more than happy to take a shot at the end of the half. That's a first down. It'll stop the clock.
Timeout. Utah State.
Although for some reason,
30-second timeout.
Utah State took a timeout after the first down. That's odd. So they'll talk it over. Thursday night football. They've had some great games this year. It continues as the Falcons are undefeated. New Orleans awaits in the Big Easy. NFL week starts here Thursday nights on CBS and NFL networks. Not a bad quarterback matchup, Adam Archuleta.
Pretty good. Obviously, Matt Ryan, the Matt Ryan-Julio Jones connection right now is just working. Drew Brees still trying to find chemistry with his wide receivers. I think the thing that's pretty remarkable, if you go back this year and even go back to last year, is how bad the Saints have been at home. And that's always been such a tough place to play, but they just can't seem to get it done at home.
Jake Thompson getting that right leg loose. Ball sits at the 44-yard line of Fresno State, 1st and 10. Utah State with 1:12 left in this first half. They've got 2 timeouts left. And that Myers throw is over the head of Wyatt Houston. Brings up 2nd down and 10. There's an injured Fresno State player back at the 45-yard line of Utah State. Brandon Hughes is down. And he'll need some attention.
One of their top pass rushers, an outside linebacker. Both of their outside linebackers, both Brandon Hughes, and Adrio Ederaine, 2 guys that can put a lot of pressure on the perimeter on quarterbacks. Been kind of silent so far here tonight.
Let's watch and see if we can pick up what happened to Hughes.
He's working on the left tackle, Austin Albrecht. And as Albrecht swats him, it just looks like something kind of happened to his leg.
Let's hope it's a cramp. And so Brandon Hughes still down. If you're just joining us, Utah State and Fresno State meeting here on homecoming in Fresno. And for the Bulldogs, it's been a rough ride so far. They're 1-4 and 0-2 in the Mountain West Conference. Another look. Well, that's a great sign, the fact that he's up and walking, and it does not look like he's in great pain. Now back to this drive, 2nd down and 10. 1:07 left. Myers in the shotgun, all alone. Little inside screen, Robinson busts it loose. Robinson to the 15, into the end zone. Devontae Robinson, another big play for Utah State. That's a 44-yard touchdown throw from Kent Myers.
Such a good play design. They motion out Lawan Hunt, number 21, the running back, to their right side to try and capture the attention of the defense. As everybody flows over to that side, they throw a quick wide receiver screen to Robinson, and then the offensive line get downfield, chop down the linebackers, and Robinson does the rest. You hope as a defense right now that you get some more energy, because there's not a lot of life and not a lot of players moving fast out there. Right now, the Aggies taking it to these Bulldogs.
Extra point good. Matt Wells and the Aggies stretch their lead to 29-7. The worry was, don't let Kent Myers beat you with his legs. Tonight, he's beating him with his arm.
Yeah, and watch the 2 linemen on the left side, Tyshawn Mosley and Austin Albrecht. You see Mosley go down, and he chops down that first linebacker, and then there's no third layer. Nobody else is running to get to Robinson.
But Kent Myers is having quite a first half. Last 2 games, 10 plays over 20 yards.
Wow.
He's 12 of 17, 206 yards, and a touchdown through the air. Remember, last week he ran for 191 on just 16 carries.
Yeah, he's responsible for a lot of those big plays. Hunter Sharp has had his share. Remember, he was suspended the first 2 games of the season, and he came back and caught a 42-yard touchdown last week. And then you see what Devontae Robinson, another guy who has long speed on the perimeter for this wide receiver corps.
Short kick, Dustin Garrison for Fresno State. And Garrison's out to the 5-yard line, 51 seconds left. First half, Adam Shine brings enthusiasm to a whole new level on his nightly show. Time to Shine, Tuesdays through Fridays, 6 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network.
Enthusiasm at a whole new level. You said it, but it can't be Adam Shine. Right now, the Bulldogs have to do that. They have to channel their inner Adam Shine and make something happen right here. It's a low-energy performance outside of that big muff punt in the touchdown. They haven't been able to get anything going.
Kilton Anderson's first college start at quarterback, and Martez Waller on the handoff to the 23. And the playbook, as we've talked about, has not been wide open. It has been spoon-fed so far.
You would think that, Fresno State would at least try to make something happen here before halftime. But a lot of times, anytime an offense in a 2-minute situation under a minute is around their 20-yard line, what they try and do is just make a run play, try to get it around that 30, 35-yard line, and then take a shot down the field. But Tim DeRuyter seems content to take this thing into the half.
Now that run play lost 3 yards, and this run play is going to lose 3 more. David Moala made the stop for Utah State. Very impressive first half for Utah State. And the fans here at homecoming, some cat calls and some boos. And you haven't heard many of those here at Fresno State lately. And so a rough ride for the most part for Kilton Anderson, the freshman quarterback getting the start. 4th different quarterback to start this year for Fresno State. And let's go down to Cassie Gallo. Cassie?
Well, Coach, your offense has been able to find some of the rhythm you've been looking for. How has Kim Myers been able to command the field so well tonight?
He's done a nice job, but we've played well around him. The receivers have made plays on the perimeter. We found a couple ways to run the ball, but more than anything, we've just fed off each other. Defense have made big plays, pump block, all those kind of things.
And on defense, how have you been able to limit what the Bulldogs are doing out there?
Just playing well up front. Front seven's playing really, really physical right now.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Matt Wells has to be pretty darn pleased right now. On the road, Utah State, a commanding halftime lead over a team right now in transition. Good friends, Matt Wells, Tim DeRuyter, hasn't mattered here. It's been all Aggies. Verizon Halftime Report is coming up with Brent Stover and Christian Fourier. It's 29-7 here